Tonight on Psychology on the Dance Floor, we're talking about how world events like war, political tension, economic instability, and social conflict affect our nervous system. Even when we come to the dance floor to relax, our bodies may still carry anxiety, fear, or potential stress. Welcome back to Psychology on the Dance Floor, the place where we explore the hidden emotional life of R&B urban soul line dancing. The world is feeling tense with uncertainty, and it is frightening. When world leaders argue, war starts with potential terrorist attacks, our bodies feel it, even when we try to ignore it. And through all of this, every day across the country, we are gathering on the dance floors, dancing, stepping, laughing, but something else is happening on that dance floor. Every one of us are not just dancing. We are nervous, our nervous systems are trying to regulate. Tonight, we're talking about something many people are feeling right now, but may not know how to express it. Dancing through fear and mental fatigue. Later in the episode, I'm going to guide you through a simple movement practice that you can use anytime your mind feels overwhelmed. Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Paula Chandler Paramore, your soul line dancing psychologist. And our special co-host is Yolanda Sample. Hey, Yolanda. How you doing?
Good evening, everybody. I'm doing great, Dr. Paula. How are you?
I don't know, Yolanda. We're in a war. I ain't feeling all that great.
Yeah, gotta laugh to keep from crying.
I'm telling you, it's so scary, that we're facing this, and we have to somehow regulate our nervous system. And the urban soul line dancing community regulates our nervous system by dancing on the floor. But even though you're dancing on that floor, you might just be going through the movements when you think about it, because it's like being on autopilot, especially if you know the dance, you know the song, and you're just going through the movements when you might have a whole lot on your mind. Do you see that in any of your classes, or have you noticed that?
I've noticed it not even just in my classes, but with myself.
Talk about it, girl. Tell us.
Look, whether it's the stress from work, family issues, you may have a disagreement with a friend or a colleague. You carry that stress around with you.
Yes.
Even when you go to dance parties, when you go to dance class. I see it with some of my students. They walk in, you can see the look of stress on their faces.
Wow. Well, we're going to talk about that. And Yolanda, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. And you know what, listeners? You can join the conversation by dropping comments below. Hit the like and share and the subscribe button. Living in this world has become a very tense situation. There are moments when the news feels so overwhelming, talking about war, political conflict, economic instability, community stress. Even when we try not to think about it, our bodies still absorb it. Fear is not only a thought, fear is a physiological state. Your heart rate increases, your breathing becomes shallow, and your muscles become so tight. Boy, if you ever get a massage, a deep muscle massage, I'm going to tell you, those knots in your muscles hurt like a mug. I'm telling you. And sometimes the mind becomes so exhausted from processing too much uncertainty. That is what we call mental fatigue. And I'm going to share some more, because you mentioned that you felt it, and you even see it in your students.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned mental fatigue.
Mental fatigue.
You know, that mental fatigue can cause physical fatigue.
Oh, yes.
You know, there's a mind-body connection that sometimes we don't realize why we feel so tired. But then when you take a personal reflection, you know, self-reflect, you realize, wow, that meeting was really strenuous. But you know what? Dance can always help you work your way through that.
Yeah, music and all that. Yep. It just helps us. Mm-hmm. And mental fatigue happens when the brain processes more stress and information than it can comfortably regulate. Mm-hmm. The symptoms can look like difficulty concentrating, emotional exhaustion, irritability, or just feeling overwhelmed, or even a kind of heaviness in the body. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And people don't realize it. You know, I think people are so used to being a certain way, and they are most of the time are not in tune with their bodies. They're not in tune with the things that they're not consciously thinking about. It's just like being
mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say a zombie, but I heard someone say that they notice dancers on the dance floor and there's no energy. They're just going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
It's almost like being in a catatonic state. You're absolutely right. You know,
that isn't funny.
That isn't funny. Up a good point.
Catatonia.
You brought up a good point when you mentioned the wars and the stress and the tension that's going around.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, we had so much energy, but the stress was there, but I guess it manifested in a different type of way.
Exactly.
Because the dance energy isn't the same.
It is not the same.
You're right.
And just to explain the term catatonia, I did not mean for that to come up, but just so that you know, that's a state of consciousness where you're conscious, but you're frozen in motion. Like I am right now, you're not talking, you're not moving. You can be in this moment, in this space for hours. And I know you can't comprehend that, but that is what catatonia is. But, you know, sometimes the brain does not always recover through thinking. Sometimes the brain recovers through movement. And that's where dance floor becomes very interesting psychologically. Because R&B, urban soul line dancing is not just entertainment, y'all. Not just entertainment. It's not just having fun and partying and all that. It functions as a community regulation system where you have the rhythm, the synchronized routine, the shared joy. All of these elements help the nervous system settle. What do you think about that, Yolanda?
I completely agree. When that music starts and people start stepping together, you can literally feel the room shift.
Yeah.
You know, it's like music and dance are an escape.
Yes.
It takes you away from what you're dealing with. You know, it helps to quiet the negative thoughts that might be muddling around in your mind.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and ultimately it's a calming agent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it can change your disposition and your attitude 100%. You know, in my opinion, music and dance are a recipe for peace.
Yes. Yes. And gentle movements supports blood flow, respiration, sense of balance, perception, and awareness of the position and movement of the body. So mental fatigue often comes from what psychologists call cognitive overload. People are juggling too many things at once. Family responsibilities, financial stress, health concerns, community concerns, and world news. The brain executive functioning becomes overloaded.
Yeah, definitely. And when this happens, people either go into high alert or they shut down completely. People often react, by withdrawing socially.
Yeah.
Developing cynical attitudes, experiencing sleep disturbances, losing motivations, and sometimes even leading to burnout.
Don't you know it? That's right.
Yeah.
Burn out. High alert might look like anxiety, irritability, or restlessness. So shut down might feel like numbness, heaviness, or a sense of I just can't. And that is something.
And, sometimes dancers or even myself say, you know what, I almost didn't come tonight.
I said that 1,000 times.
Right. But once we get there, we hear the music, we start dancing, we start socializing and interacting with other people, things start to change.
Yolanda, you don't know how many times when I was out there teaching, I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. But I felt the responsibility that I had to show up. And you're right. Once you get there, your mind shifts and you're able to move. But when you're at home, you don't want to face it.
When you show up, you're not just showing up for you. You're showing up for the other people too. So.
Yes, sir. You're showing up for everybody. You know, because, as a dance instructor, and as a DJ, and as a host of an event, it's like you're kind of responsible. It's like a container that you're holding the people in just to keep them safe while they're in your care at that moment. And you just want them to feel happiness, to just let the stress flow off their shoulders, to have a good time, just for that moment in time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So at this moment, we're going to go through a seated, guided movement practice, clearing fear and mental fatigue from your consciousness as much as possible and from your body. Now, I would like to guide you through a simple exercise. You can sit in your chair and just practice is designed to help your mind settle and your body release tension. When fear's high, avoid songs like that will spike you emotionally, even if it's your favorite song. Sometimes your favorite song may not be helpful. So let's just sit comfortable in the chair, feet on the floor. Yolanda, you may join me. And what I would like for you to do is start tapping your feet, alternating right, left, and right, left. Just alternating the beat. What happened to my music? Here we go. Alternating your feet right, left, tapping, and tapping to the beat of the song. Try to take deep breaths in and exhale through your mouth. Now I would like for you to cross your arms, hands on your shoulder, right on your left and left on the right. You're still tapping your feet. Now you're going to tap your hands on your shoulder. Just tap it. halftime. As you're still tapping your feet, notice how you feel. Now we're going to double time with the tapping. And if you notice, as you're tapping your feet and double time with the tapping, your body wants to feel that rhythm of the beat. So just try not to think about things that are worrying you. And listen to the beat of this song. And just keep tapping. And tap your feet, alternating left and right. Keep tapping. Some of you may not want to tap. You just may want to just do like this because it's a nice movement. But I'm going to stay into my bilateral tapping. Right, left. Keep tapping. Tap it out. Feel that tap on your shoulder. And this is something that we don't do as urban soul line dancers. We're used to having structured, synchronized steps moving across the floor. But you can do that on autopilot. Wow. Without really feeling anything, just going through the movement. But with this particular exercise, it's forcing you to feel. Just to stop for a moment, slow it down. Let's bring down the music. And now you can softly relax. And continue breathing slowly. Now, Yolanda, how did that feel to you?
That was great. It gave me a sense of inner peace, of calmness. Yes. Look, I work every day. If I come home and do that before I start my chores or whatever it is I need to do around the home, it's great.
Yeah,
it's a great method.
Especially do this when you're feeling anxious or nervous. Because what is happening, let me just explain to you what this was about, and tapping your left and right foot at the same time. As you know, there are two sides of the brain. There's the right and there's the left. Two different hemispheres. And as you tap right, left, you are stimulating both sides of the brain. And then there's something in our bodies called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve starts at the back of your head, up in your head area, and it flows throughout your body, all the way through, touching all your organs. Most of it resides in your gut area. And you may not know that you have two brains in your body. You have the top brain and you have the gut brain. And it's the gut brain that communicates back and forth to the body, taking information to the brain and brain coming back to the gut. So when your gut is messed up, so is your brain. Because it can take bacteria to your brain. And it just communicates back and forth like that. So this is called a bilateral stimulation, where you're stimulating both sides of your brain. It's rhythm, movement, breathing, attention, and alternating movements between the left and right sides of the body stimulates communication between these two hemispheres. This process is similar to bilateral stimulation used in some trauma therapies. This can help calm racing thoughts and restore your focus. Even 2 or 3 minutes of rhythmic movement can shift the nervous system out of stress mode. So, Yolanda, that's something that you might can take to your class.
I think this is great.
maybe do that.
Definitely. And I'm definitely
before you start teaching.
I'm definitely
hey, let's get our nervous system regulated.
But you know what's funny? There's a connection between the bilateral because when we line dance, we go left, we go right.
Don't you know it?
We go back, we go up.
Don't you know it?
So that bilateral.
We go up, we go down. We go in a circle.
Right,
really crazy
how both hemispheres.
Yes, and it's crazy how the nervous system shifts from stress mode towards regulation. And when you add music, community, and synchronized movement, like on the dance floor, the effect can become even stronger, which is why people often say, I came in tired, but I left feeling lighter.
Absolutely. That is so true. It's just like you're leaving all your cares, all your worries, all your stress and anxiety right there on the dance floor.
I'm telling
you like you said, you come in one way, you leave completely opposite.
Completely total opposite. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you. So movement gives these emotions somewhere to go. Every time you step onto the dance floor, something deep is happening. And, the movement just releases the tension, and the community reminds us that we are connected. Sometimes the path through fear is not found in silence or stillness. Sometimes the path through fear begins with a simple, small movement and the courage to move. So, Yolanda, I think we have come to the end of this podcast. And
time just goes by so quickly.
I mean, every time, this is our second time together, and time just fly by when you're having fun. But
it does.
Tell us about your class, Yolanda. Where can people go dancing and everything?
Well, if you're viewing this podcast and you're looking for some place to go dance, relieve some stress, I have probably the greatest, and yes, I'm a little biased because it's my class, but I have the greatest class in Philadelphia at Oxford Presbyterian Church. I'm there every Tuesday evening from 7 to 9.
That's great.
We have a time.
That's wonderful.
I get 56. We have a community. I don't even call it a class. I call it my community.
That's good.
Because we dance, we laugh, we joke, we fellowship, we celebrate each other.
That's important.
And we embrace each other when people are going through things. If there's a death, we embrace that person and rally behind them. Yeah. So if you're looking for some place to come, it's a completely safe zone to get away from the everyday stressors. Come on out. Join us at Oxford Tuesday night. As a matter of fact, next Tuesday would be a great time to come. So come on out, 7 to 9. We'll be looking for you.
That is great, Yolanda. I'm just putting up our names at the end of the show. I have so much to remember. I just noticed. Wait a minute, there are no names on the video. But that sounds wonderful. But everybody, I really hope that you really got some information to help you through fear and mental fatigue. You don't have to suffer alone, and just use that exercise when you're feeling stress, or if you even feel like that you're going through panic and all. And I want to say thank you for joining us for this episode on Psychology on the Dance Floor. And until we meet again. Try to get this together. There we go. Until we meet again, remember to choreograph on purpose, teach on purpose, dance on purpose, and live on purpose. But most importantly, have fun. I'll meet you back here on Psychology on Dead floor.